All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Oh, if I hit the buttons right, to another exciting weekend of Track Limits Racing Season 3. We're going to look at apparently Bruno Clemente, or the Timing Tower, looks like. Once again, I'm Fennicini, bringing you all the booth action alongside Mr. Phil Milwee. How are you doing this evening?
Doing good, Finn. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Keeping an eye on everything that's happening out on track. Last bit of practice coming to a close as we're rolling here. So, we're at Circuit of the Americas this week. How are you feeling about that, Phil?
It's going to be a technical one. I think Sonoma was an interesting departure from a track of this caliber here. COTA has a lot of runoff areas, also a pretty wide track, so I suspect we won't see nearly the same amount of problems with traffic management that we saw at Sonoma, but the technical nature of COTA, I do suspect we will probably see a drive-through or two. So it's going to be something that's probably going to be more of a problem for the feature race than the heat, but we'll kind of see. It also could end up ruining someone's quali, so we'll find that out.
Yeah, with the
here shortly.
I'd say the limits, the track limits being, I think, pretty stringent. I think would be the right word to use there. I get the feeling we'll see a lot of that action come to a head with track limits, I think, playing a big factor there in terms of the qualifying time. Getting a qualifying time lap set in. Excuse me. I think that's the English I was trying to say the first time. I'm flipping through a couple things, trying to see if I can diagnose a quick hiccup I got floating around that hit as soon as I hit the button to hit the B-roll. Something like I'm trying to figure out what's happening here. In the meantime, let's talk about, real quick, while we got a moment, point standings going into this weekend. Battles are starting to develop throughout the grid. If we kick it off with LMP3 Pro, and this will be an interesting one. 122 points from Jaden Ledbetter. Jesus. To Giancarlo Cardoso and Mark Coynes 120. 2 points is all that separate the top three drivers.
Yeah, it's pretty close up there at the top. The top five, I would say, is pretty much tight contention right now. Actually, I would even probably put Michael Lively and Vincent LaRue in. Right now, Scott Fleming, John May, their point totals are going to look a lot lower due to limited running in terms of they haven't been at all the races this season so far. So drop rounds come into factor. We might start to see those point totals start to equalize a little bit more. But it's a really tight field right now. And Luke Patrick in fifth. Luke Patrick was super dominant at Sonoma. So
yeah.
I suspect we're going to see him start to bubble up towards the top of LMP3.
Yeah, I got a feeling we're going to see Luke Patrick make a bit of a resurgence there. I would have to imagine we probably can't count out Vincent LaRue or Michael Lively, both of them probably at the sharper ends of the stick from the end of last season going into this one. And with the number of drivers we have floating around on track tonight, I think it's going to be a very busy grid. As we look at Ryan Nolan, who's hanging out right there by the side of the road. LMP3AM. I'd say this one's a much smaller grid than what we just talked about, but no less, I would say, busy or fraught with battles, especially between Emery Anderson and Jake Fulton there at the top end. Cameron Robertson, I don't think, is far behind either.
Absolutely, it's a pretty tight field even in LMP3AM. Emery Anderson and Jake Fulton, they've been flip-flopping for the last 3 rounds. Cameron Robertson also had some really good showing relative to the field at Sonoma. So I'm just kind of wondering that once we start to cycle through some of the races this season, we get towards the end and the drop rounds start to become more of a factor, I'm going to be real interested to see how much LMP3 AM is going to tighten up.
Yeah, I think I am as well. I'm super curious how. I get the feeling Cameron Robertson definitely has the pace to really bring a fight to those two up at the top end in LMP3 AM. GT3, I want to say Pro, but there's no GT3 Pro and AM. Our one non-Pro AM split. Phil, do you want to talk us through how that one's shaping up? Because I think you've seen probably some of the most intense battles at Sonoma as well as the week prior for those GT3 drivers so far.
Yeah. So with Ethan Hamlet being pretty dominant in the first 3 rounds, although he did have some drama in Sonoma, and it was a tough race for Ethan. Like the heat race did not go well. There was a big recovery that was necessary in the feature race. But again, I mean, you can look at the points total right there. While not a perfect record, still quite a gap on Tommy Kogan right now. But I would say Tommy Kogan, Christopher Blue, Mike Bowen, those 3 still in the mix. I think Mike Bowen's got the pace, could potentially give Ethan a bit of a run for his money this season, but we'll see as the rounds tick by. And then I'm also looking forward to seeing, are we going to get, kind of as the season continues to evolve, are we going to get a moment where we've got some folks that are down in 5th and beyond that are going to get a race win? Folks that have had race wins in similar classifications to folks like Ethan. We got Gab Chavez. He's been a race winner before. Kyle Potter certainly got pace, as does Austin Green. So I'm just going to be interested to see how these guys get on throughout the season.
Yeah, I have to imagine as well. It's going to be, I think, a pretty, like you said, pretty interesting to see who can take the fight to Ethan Hamlet once again, kind of at the sharp end of the stick. And I got to imagine who can get a race win, I think, and really upset the balances where they are right now. There's so many... I always miss Track Limits Racing chat for Chris Turner's absolutely wild takes in the middle of this. Not calling out Chris Turner. I'm just saying something I missed. GT4 Pro, on the other hand, something I won't miss for the world is going to be this battle between Andrew Matthias and Brian Buchanan for the lead of this going into round number 4. Corey Lobner, I think he's 2 good races away and a couple drop rounds from being right in the mix with them for that overall championship win, and has a pretty solid lead over Matt Pyle. But once you, much like the GT3, what you were just talking about there, with the GT3 category, drop rounds impact these drivers, and there's going to be, I think, equal as many conversations to be had about who's ending up where as the points kind of even out a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The season, I mean, we have some pretty good seasons pretty much across the board at Track Limits. But the thing that I think is going to be fun to watch as it evolves is getting a lot of these new faces involved and in the mix. So
absolutely.
Especially with the lower end of GT4 Pro, got a lot of new faces, especially Jake Hewitt, who was a latecomer to last season.
Yes.
See Jake. Jake's had some really good pace in some of these races, so I want to see him kind of more at the top end of the stick. Also, Andrew Matthias, another latecomer from last season, and yeah, I mean, it's just we've got a lot of new faces, a lot of people with some good pace. Really want to see how the season kind of like evolves over time.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they progress. Our championship standings have decided to exit the building. Very nice.
Yep.
Love to see it. Let's hit that reload button and see if we can't get GT4 AM up and out of here in the remaining about a minute and a half. And then it looks like it's just going to fully...
Yeah, mine's kind of like hung. Like the GT4 Pro is like hung up at the top of the screen. SDK is just straight up delivering for us.
As it is wont to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit the race button. It does the thing, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I mean, that said, just like looking over here at, let me take a quick peek at my data real fast.
sure.
So yeah, I mean, GT4, especially let's talk about, if we're going to talk about anything for GT4, let's talk about GT4 AM at Sonoma, right? And we've got some interesting race results. I want to pull up the actual spreadsheet. The Google Sheet will show me. I've been messing around with that client tool that I was showing you, Finn, and it's great and everything, but it's still not ready for prime time. So, anyway, so looking at like the GT4 AM like class ranks, Paul York needs to get moved. Like, I don't know if can you take a GT4 AM and put him in GT3, because his point total right now is kind of out of sight. He's got 122 points in GT4 AM over 3 races. He's the only one, by the way, in GT4 AM that has actually run 3 races. Let's make that first thing abundantly clear. But Oscar Brown, with 2 races in, 68 points. John Newman has 64 points, and Logan Branson has 56. So it is Paul York like a country mile out in front right now. And relative to points right now, he has the most GT4 points, period.
Oh my gosh.
Like not even just between GT4 AM. I'm talking about GT4 Pro, GT4 AM. Paul York has 122 points. Andrew Mathias has 119.
I just got the championship standings back up so I can showcase that for you. 119, Andrew Mathias there. Hold on to that. Paul York, we get over to the GT4 AM, 122. I think there might be a classification error here.
Yeah, we might have to lobby. Yep. Yeah, York won Sonoma GT4 overall. So yeah, it's
also, well, if you haven't already, try reloading your.
No, mine's showing everything. We're good.
Okay, cool.
We're good.
All right.
It does look like we're in qualifying though, right?
It does. We are actually probably getting close to the tail end of qualifying, because qualifying this season is solo once again. So let's hop over onto the race, see if we can get an onboard real quick. Gian Cardoso.
Yeah.
Getting his first time on the board here. We're going to hang out on this roll bar throughout a lap with the LMP3s. We'll see if we can't find one with a GT3 as well coming up here in a moment. Gian Cardoso currently second in the LMP3 Pro standings. Currently 6th on the grid for today in qualifying. See if he can improve here. It's such a fun, fast winding set of corners to start out a lap.
Yeah. Getting right here into the turn 8, turn 9 complex. This is an area where back into the car can get really unsettled, especially as you start to get to the top of the hill.
Mm-hmm.
And now blasting down here towards T11s. So going into this hairpin right here, big passing opportunity for people.
Yeah.
And then we've got the long straight now heading down towards turn 12.
It's such an interesting one. This long straight, I think, is one of my favorite in fast cars. I think it's also one of the ones that if you're in the GT4s, you have time to quantify how much you love sim racing, and then come to a conclusion before turn 12, another almost like not like just over a 90-degree corner before a set of sharp and open corners with the inverse pair here in 15 and 16 coming up. 2 right-handers, 2 left-handers. It's just such a long back stretch for slower machinery like the GT4s. These 2 winding sweepers, 17 and 18, rounding out the 2 of the last 4 corners. Got to be really careful with the throttle, especially in the LMP3 here, as well as the cold tires on the GT3s. And then 19, the penultimate one, really just dab the brakes there, and then you're going to come around for turn 20, harder on the brakes there to get sure you get that rotation. Don't want to go off track. Pretty stringent there on the exit to try to get a lap time in. Scott Fleming setting the top of top of the timing boards here.
Yeah. And it was a half second, but Jaden Ledbetter just shaved 4/10 off.
Oh, man.
Bruno Clemente on top with a 206.1 right now. Don't see Ethan currently anywhere. Is Ethan actually not with us this week? I
I
actually don't see him.
thought he said he wasn't going to be here this week. I'm not 100% certain.
Oh well, now we're gonna get ourselves a nice week without Ethan here to see who else in GT3 wants to try and take a top spot.
All right.
But
Looks
Bruno's
like
pretty good right now.
Yeah, Bruno Clemente just set the fastest lap. I think he's coming around for his second. Am I reading this correctly, or is he just doing another one for the fun of it? Or wait, he can do a third one. He's on his third flyer. That's right. We have 3 flying laps here for these drivers, not 2. I'm backing officials at the moment.
Yep.
Where is Leckenby from? I don't recognize that flag. Australia, I believe.
I can tell you real quick. Give me a second. So, Mr. Jameson, his country code actually doesn't show anything on his club. So,
Oh, interesting.
not sure. Yeah.
Ooh, good catch on that acceleration out of the hairpin there in turn number 11. Big difference. You see a lot more lifting and coasting than you do with the LMP3. How these cars get their speed, while they end up being kind of similar in pace, they lose a lot of it in slower corners, and then have a little bit of a faster speed here going into this braking zone in turn number 12 than the LMP3s, I think ever so slightly. But it's going to be, I think, a fascinating one to watch the LMP3s and the GT3s get around each other, especially in these slower corners, 13, 14, 15, 16 here. I think you're all going to be interesting. Oh, Luke Patrick getting a fastest time for a brief moment. Vincent LaRue dethroning him, and then Scott Fleming re-dethroning Vincent LaRue to retake the top spot of LMP3, I think is made.
2 minutes.
Oh, and with the last 2 minutes remaining. Oh,
it's
man.
a pretty big deal. So Luke Patrick, Scott Fleming are done.
Yeah.
Looks like Vincent LaRue is still out on track. Cameron Robertson also out on track. Cameron Robertson actually punching in only a tenth back from Luke Patrick. So GT4A, or excuse me, LMP3 AM here to represent.
Absolutely. All of the LMP3 AM drivers coming out pretty well. I think the exception being Emery Anderson there. As we took a finish our ride on along with Bruno Clemente.
So Paul York right now currently leading GT4 AM, but in the 25th overall spot. Currently 2:18.5, 5/10 behind Sophie Bozeman. So Paul not showing the Sonoma dominance here at Circuit of the Americas relative to the entire GT4 field. So and it looks like we got some folks diving back to the pits. We've only got 18 seconds left.
Yeah, I was going to hop real quick on board with Corey Lobner for the GT4 in that Mustang GT4. As he had set a time in. I think he set himself up as top time with a 2:16.95 most recent time by, but the game kicks us over to the grid to get us underway with the sprint race. Scott Fleming going to end up on pole alongside Vincent LaRue, Luke Patrick alongside our first LMP3 AM driver, Cameron Robertson, Jaden Ledbetter, Michael Lively in row number 4. Yep. Nope. Row number 3. There we go. I can English. Gian Cardoso, Ryan Blyce, another LMP3 Pro AM split in row number 4. Oh, went too far. Come back one. Come back a few. There we go. Benjamin O'Shea, Jake Fulton, John May, and Emery Anderson round out the 12 LMP3 drivers. Fantastic stuff there. GT3s, Phil, I think are pretty calm and cool and collected. All 6 of them.
Yep. Bruno Clemente is going to take the top spot. He's going to line up alongside Kyle Potter with Christopher Blue lining up alongside Tommy Kogan. Christopher Blue punching up into the second row there. Sean Sullivan and newcomer Drew Friedman, they're going to make up the third row of the grid. And I believe that's all of our GT3s for this week.
That is all the ones that I see on my end as well. Corey Lobner going to lead off GT4 Pro alongside Matt Pyle, Tanner Schiffner, and Jake Hewitt going to be on row number 2 there. Ryan Buchanan, Andrew Matthias going to be row number GT3. Now we split the difference, and I'll pass the GT4 AMs off to you, but we have Sophie Bozeman rounding out the 7 GT4 Pro drivers.
Yeah.
And who do we
she's gonna
see?
line up alongside Paul York, and then we've got John Newman alongside Ryan Nolan for second row in GT4 AM with newcomer Jeff Hedges, Eduardo Zamora joining us for this round, and Alex Leonard. I don't see him on the grid yet.
I don't either. He is the last driver, but I think he is sitting in pit lane. Drew Friedman also from the GT3s not taking to the grid. Get us over to these race numbers here as we get set to go racing here in just a moment's time. The grid's going to peel away. See if I can hop on board with the pace car or with someone. Let's see here. Scott Fleming. Where's our rear view? There we go. All of the drivers going to pile in behind. Very fun to see 12 LMP3s floating around on field.
Yeah, nice, healthy car category. So that's really good to see. Would have liked to see a few more GT3s in the field, but
it happens. It's COTA.
Between LMP3 and GT4, I think we're gonna have some nice traffic to manage between those two car classes in particular.
Oh, certainly.
Scott Fleming, Vincent LaRue, Luke Patrick. What a shootout for pole position in LMP3. I mean, we got 3 absolute top guns at the front here. They're getting ready to go through the last 4 corners here, Finn. So we're going to be going racing here in a second.
Yeah, we're going to watch them come around the final couple corners here in just a moment, 19 and then 20. Scott will have the ability to pull the trigger, I believe, coming out of the corner, the last corner before the start-finish line. And the one GT3 that doesn't take to the grid is in pit lane to make a pit lane start. So we're going to have 30 cars take to the field here in just a moment in time. Oh, and he just takes off as soon as they round that final corner. They are away to the races. Michael Lively getting a great launch here as well. Both Vincent LaRue and Luke Patrick duking it out side by side, 2 wide throughout most of that grid for LMP3. Follow back in here into LMP3 AM land. Jake Fulton, as well as the rest of the LMP3 AM drivers here. Going to find everyone making it through turn number 1. Bruno Clemente going to lead away the 5 cars of GT3. You're going to see Sean Sullivan trying to rapidly warm those tires up in the background as they peel over turn number 1. Bruno Clemente getting a great launch there. Phil, I think we have the GT4 is going to be launching next in here in just a moment.
Corey gets a good jump in the GT4 Mustang. I love that car. I'm so glad that they added that into GT4. And man, it looks so tall relative to the rest of them. It looks like a 3 wide when we're looking at the second row. But it does look like Matt Pyle makes out quite a good move on the inside. And now we got some tight racing getting ready to go into the Maggots and Beckett's complex.
Yeah, getting through what would be the Maggots and Beckett's of COTA. I have no real better way to put it, but I agree with it wholeheartedly. As Sophie Bozeman getting around Andrew Mathias for P6 in class, as well as P6 in overall GT3. Oh, Vincent LaRue and Luke Patrick sliding around. Michael Lively going to pick up the pieces there. I'm going to curious to see how that happened. Let's dive back to this Michael Lively. Oh, he lunged it in to turn number 12 there. That's at the end of the back stretch. And that gets him up into second. He had gotten past Vincent LaRue pretty early on amongst our looking at all the other starts of the 2 other classes at that point. Luke Patrick getting back around, though, as we're talking about that pass. As these two duke it out, Scott Fleming a second up the road as we get through the first flying lap. The GT3 field, pretty spread out, huh?
Yeah, they are starting to spread out a bit. If we could go back to the live feed, I kind of want to take a look at the track map and just see how the car classes are starting to kind of like shift around.
All right. Track map should be up, at least on my end.
Yeah.
As we are live. You can see there.
Yeah, so, yeah. We still got a pocket right now, and it's a longer track here, so I think the LMP3s are going to have a little bit of time to race one another before they're going to have to start intermingling with the GT4s.
Yeah, I think so. Drew Friedman currently trying to get through those GT4s. Our one GT3 driver that starts from pit lane. It's going to be an awkward time for him to try to get that car floating through all that traffic from the jump. Under fire. And GT3, I say GT3 Pro, but GT3 top 3 all separated by less than a second at the moment. See if I can ride on board here on top of Tommy Cogan's hood or roof or bonnet. I don't know which one's the right one to say there.
I mean, why not all of them?
Yeah, say all of them, yeah.
It looks like he's hanging pretty close to Kyle Potter right now.
Yeah.
It does look like they're taking a bit of an alternate line as they go into 12.
Well, I mean, Kyle Potter being in that Porsche, it would make sense that Tommy Cogan and the Aston Martin would take a slightly different line than, Kyle Potter would. Probably similar to what we saw with Bruno Clemente, just the gap there being a little bit different. I think, they're all well and pretty close to each other. I think Tommy's playing it a little bit safe, playing a little bit of a fuel strategy here. I mean, now's the time to do it when you're within a stone's throw of the leaders and all the opportunity in the world, especially when I think Kyle Potter has to sort of slow down amongst all that. We're on the bonnet is the hood. We're on the roof. Boot is the trunk. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Getting schooled by our chat about what I said wrong there. Oh no. Christopher Blue labeled as crashed.
Yeah, let's see what happened there.
Yeah, I think it might just be a little bit of over rotation into turns 15 and 16 here. It's so easy to do in cold tires. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was seeing Christopher Blue struggle a little bit in free practice, kind of in a similar fashion. Kind of wondering if the Corvette itself is a tricky car for this track combination.
Oh, Matt Pyle looking for the over-under on Corey Lobner. Doesn't get it done, though. But yeah, I wonder if the Corvette, I think a mid-engine car in general, we don't see a whole lot of them on the track today, would probably be one of the trickier ones to do because of the engine placement, making it a little bit prone, especially on the off-camera corners like you're talking about in turn number 8 there. With the way that corner is, it gets a little bit unsettled there. Not the corner that ended up having issues, but one of the many corners I think that mid-engine car is going to have a little bit more trouble with. Jake Hewitt now trying to put some pressure on Matt Pyle, who's lunging up the inside to try to get a pass done on Corey Lobner, as well as defend from Jake Hewitt. I feel like he's just losing time at the moment.
They're doing a really good job of racing relatively close. So
yeah.
It is just really good action right now we're seeing out of the first few laps. I mean, the racing has been, by and large, incredibly clean.
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping it continues to stay that way. I'm getting a little nervous here sitting in the booth.
Well, the thing that I'm interested in now is that is that a GT4 or a GT3 Mustang intermingled in there? Drew Friedman trying to find his way through the GT4 traffic.
Yeah, Drew Friedman was the driver who started from pit lane at the start. Our only GT3 driver not to take to the grid.
Oh man! So when it comes to braking and stuff like that, it's not. I mean, he's gonna brake better, but it's not gonna be that much better. And then here we go. We got the top spots in GT4, and he's gonna go on the inside as we get ready to go into the hairpin.
Yeah. Amongst all this, Jake Hewitt also has a great draft off of Corey Lobner. He's gonna lunge it up the inside. Oh, they're gonna stick it too wide through turn 12. We're into 13 and 14. See who's first on the brakes. Oh, Corey Lobner gets a great exit out of turn 13 into 14 there. He's going to hold on to that lead. That's going to put Matt Pyle right back into the mix because these guys have been fighting.
Yeah, the racing in GT4 Pro right now, pretty close. Looking back at GT4 AM, looks like York has already got, what is that, a 1.7 second gap?
It's almost a 2 second gap.
On Ryan Nolan. And almost 2 seconds to Eduardo Zamora from Ryan Nolan. So right now, the closest fight in GT4 AM, John Newman is giving Eduardo Zamora a bit of a run for his money.
Yeah, he is. John Newman, I would say, driver. I think if I had to do a driver of the calendar year in terms of improvement, I think it'd be him, hands down.
Well, my thing is that John Newman has been a part of TLR. I think since season 1, like the very first.
Yep. Oh.
Because we did the initial series when we were racing under the New World Sim Racing banner. I think John Newman joined us in the first genuine TLR season. He's been with us ever since. Kind of one of the old guard, and yeah, he's really been improving from season to season. I've definitely seen him take a step up in terms of like his competitiveness. Absolutely.
Not to pull away from his fight with Eduardo Zamora, I'm super curious diving back on with Matt Pyle and this battle for the lead of GT4 Pro. Also, I'm going to talk about the lead in LMP3 Pro for a second because Luke Patrick hounding Scott Fleming for first overall. Vincent LaRue setting the fastest time right behind these two by only a couple tenths, but a couple tenths are all that matter in this battle right now. Oh, man.
We're not quite to the halfway point right now, but Luke Patrick putting in some consistent quick ones. Last lap for him, though, a 2:01.37. Vincent LaRue, like you mentioned, fastest lap of the race with a 2:01.25. Just to give you an idea about raw pace, Cameron Robertson, his last lap was a 2:01.27. And he's in LMP3 AM.
Man, I think.
So, yeah.
I get the feeling Cameron Robertson is probably kind of like the Paul York of LMP3 at the moment. It has the pace.
That's the thing, though, man. When you take a look at those point totals, man, it hasn't looked that way for the races that we've seen
That's
Cameron
fair.
in right now.
Yeah.
I think Cameron's just finally really starting to gel with the car.
I think so. I think that maybe a little bit more consistency out of the lap times because his last clean lap was a 2:02.52. So
yeah.
Let's see. Kyle Potter having that gap open up. Benjamin O'Shea in the back of all of this. Finds it. Oh, great. Great heads up driving by Jake Fulton. And GT4 lead change indeed. Corey Lobner shuffled out. I'm super.
Yeah, shuffled towards third, and then we got Matt Pyle, Jake Hewitt.
Yeah, let's see what happened here. Oh, Corey Lobner gets a little loose on the eggs, and that opens the door. And I think this fight carries on from there. Going to follow it through, turn 17, 18. Final couple. Jake will have the inside line going into 19 here. Matt Pyle will probably try to pick up the pieces as well. Yeah, keeps on looking for it. Yeah, he's going to just come up alongside. It's such a track that, especially for these GT-style machinery, if you are offline, you end up going way slower than you mean to.
It just kills your momentum. And this is very much a momentum track. And now Lobner has to worry about Tanner Schiffner in the background. Did see that we had a crash out of Benjamin O'Shea.
Yeah. I wanted to take a quick look at the lead change in LMP3 Pro as he just went around the long way to not hit traffic. And then nearly gets...
LMP3s are catching him. Yeah.
Yep. And then you said Benjamin O'Shea having a quick crash here. I wonder if he got a little loose. We talked about this in the qualifying. It's one where if you get this corner wrong, yep, you see that car slide out from under him. Easy to do. I believe Gob Chavez has hopped into the Twitch chat to say hi. To which we say hello. What am I missing, Phil?
Well, right now, in terms of the action on track, we still got a couple close fights. Jake Fulton, Benjamin O'Shea, they're gonna lock horns a little bit, but Matt Pyle now starting to creep up on the backside of Jake Hewitt. Jake Hewitt, again, we were talking about him before, a latecomer for last season, showed really good pace.
Oh no!
Now that we've got him, what is that?
That is a sideways
yeah,
of turn 20. Take a look what happened here. I wonder if he just locked it up. Oh, no, he got netcode turned. Or
yeah,
just
that's unfortunate. You could definitely see daylight there, so that's definitely some netcode. So Gab Chavez in chat. Ethan is out this week. Both Ethan and Mike Bowen. So we've got some potential for right now. Bruno Clemente with a 3.5 second gap on Kyle Potter. Kyle Potter has got a rearview mirror full of Aston Martin from Tommy Cogan. And we're 7 minutes from the end of this race. So 3.5 second gap inside of inside of 13 minutes is showing that Bruno's got some genuine pace in the AMG.
Ooh. Yeah, Bruno has genuine pace. I think so does Tommy Cogan. He set a personal best this most recent time by about a second slower still than Bruno Clemente, who's running rapid 205.5442s. Oh, man, I think Tommy's just trying to find his way around this Porsche. Jump back up. Gian Cardoso. Oh, Vincent LaRue getting stuck into traffic. He's going to see these two slide out. Paul York also labeled as crashed here. He got going. Did he just have to lock up to not hit somebody? Let's see what happened here. Coming in turn number 12.
Getting ready to go into the braking zone.
Oh, I think he overshot the brakes. Yep. Just came back. Yep. Oh, Jake Fulton. Great heads-up driving from Jake Fulton to not run into that GT4.
So that's not really going to jeopardize Paul York's race with a 6-second gap currently on Ryan Nolan.
Yeah, with Ryan Nolan fighting Eduardo Zamora, I get the feeling that it is likely he's more concerned about the car behind him than how far Paul York has run off.
Bruno's powered by F1 Weekend in Brazil.
No, it's true.
Yes. He's channeling his inner Bortoletto.
Maybe not Bortoletto. Maybe a different F1 driver.
Well, I mean, Bortoletto.
Oh, he did.
Genuinely quick.
Yeah, he had good run. I'm thinking of Colapinto.
The accident.
Oh, no, I was thinking Bortoletto's accident. Never mind.
Yeah, Bortoletto had the accident in turn
sprint.
one. That was like big shunt.
Oh.
Dude, the first hit was over 30 Gs. The second hit was over 50 Gs.
Man, shows you how far safety measures have come for these drivers. Because he walked away from that, right?
Marked his crash.
Yeah, Jake Fulton. We saw a little bit of it. We'll take a better look at it here. Trying to avoid running into these two GT4s ahead of him. Got a little locked up, trying not to run into him. And bounced it over.
That bump.
Yep. But thankfully, keeps it out of the wall. Keeps it going the right direction. Ends up fighting a little ways back to work his way back forward. These two.
GT4 traffic is kind of catching the LMP3s out.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at that track map. I think it's catching the LMP3s out because I think there's just a puddle of cars on the backstretch right now.
I've never heard it called that before, but that's pretty applicable.
Oh, they're going.
It's basically just like all over the place.
Oh, coming into turn number 12. Speaking of puddle of cars, over under for Kyle Potter trying to get past Tommy Cogan. Tommy Cogan having a great run out of that corner, though, to get by Kyle Potter for second. These two have been.
Potter are we getting a bump? We getting
got a little bit of a bump. We're gonna have this look down the inside. Oh gosh, Tommy Cogan's running it in deep. It's going to see him go both off track and then have to slow down too much to allow Kyle Potter through. But Tommy Cogan not giving him any room, or giving him more room than he needs. I'm going to fight it all the way around through turns 15 and 16. Maybe look for the over-under here. Oh, man.
Yeah, it is a really good battle.
We have a bunch of good battles happening on the grid. Gian Cardoso, Vincent LaRue also duking it out. And hang out with them for a brief moment.
We are now at the 3-minute mark, and the close races to watch right now. We got them all over the place.
Yeah.
Bruno Clemente is setting the fastest lap in GT3 with a 2:05.483.
Oh, jeez. He's running a little faster than a couple of our LMP3s. Oh, Vincent LaRue late on the brakes trying to get the look down the inside into turn number 12. Has to back out of it to not spin Gian Cardoso the way he was spun earlier on in the race. See these two drag race down the backstretch here. Vincent LaRue going to get a little bit of the toe.
Tommy Kogan trying to battle back on Kyle Potter after the pass in the hairpin going into the start of Sector 3.
Ooh. Eduardo Zamora has jumped to the pits after a crash. Let's find out what happened to him. He was battling with John Newman and Ryan Nolan, who I think Ryan Nolan had a bit of a spin that dropped him, put him at the back of these three. And, oh, John Newman just found that rear bumper. And Eduardo Zamora going to take that car over a tow. Call it a day. Andrew Mathias having a pair of crashes here as well. See what happened to him in the second one.
Andrew Mathias, really quick, big points total, just goes deep. Just forgot which braking zone he was about to enter, and yeah. Michael Lively, currently 1.2 seconds back from Scott Fleming, but trying to stay out in front of Cameron Robertson, who's blitzing right now. He's got the fastest lap in LMP3 with a 2:08. So raw pace available to Cameron Robertson, just needs to unlock a little bit of that consistency with 13 off tracks.
Oh my gosh, yeah, okay. He definitely is going to have to work a little bit harder, keep that car between the lines, especially with Jaden Ledbetter behind him, Michael Lively in front. Setting the fastest lap time there. It was a clean lap too, because it wouldn't get recorded as the fastest if that was the case. He's going to drive it all the way over to force Jaden to take the racing line. Good stuff. Hop back a little bit. Right along board with Jaden Ledbetter. Let's see.
So where is Luke Patrick at right now? Because we just passed the 20-minute mark.
He's right ahead of these drivers.
Yep, and he's getting ready to go into the penultimate corner.
Yeah, I get the feeling this is going to be the checkered flag. Let's take a quick look at the grid.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
So, can Scott... He will set himself up for a pretty solid run here coming into the feature race here in a moment.
Yeah, so LMP3 is relatively still close to one another, so they're cashing in all at the same time. Bruno Clemente right now, he's just now getting into Sector 3.
Yeah.
Taking a look at some of the GT4 drivers, I think Jake Hewitt's going to come across the line here in a moment.
Yeah, just ahead of him is going to be Jake Hewitt. This quartet of cars behind, trio of cars behind Jake Hewitt. All of them within a second of each other. About 2 seconds separate these four drivers all together. I think they're all going to come across the line as they are, but Matt Pyle trying to see if he can have a late race move on the ultimate corner. But he's going to go wide. That might cost him at least an off track. But is it enough? Not enough to get past Jake Hewitt, who takes home the sprint win. Bruno Clemente holding on only by 2 seconds. What happened there for that? That was a giant gap earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what if
he's flashing.
Yeah,
he's getting ready to run up into some GT4s here.
Well, I think he
right?
just
okay.
Yeah, just hopped on the brakes to not
anchors.
Not hit the GT4 in front of him. Feels like a crypto bubble if you look at the totals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The X's, yeah, it's wild, man. And that was the 20-minute feature.
Oh my gosh.
Or the 20-minute heat race. We're about to go into the 70-minute feature. So I'm thinking those off tracks are going to catch somebody with a drive-through. So I'm pretty sure it's still first 20 is going to nail you with the drive-through. You're not going to get your DT until, what is it? I can't remember if it was 50 or 75.
The DQ is up to 75. The DT is still at 20.
Yeah. So that's gonna be huge. So definitely want to keep the race clean if you can.
I think Drew Friedman, our last driver to come home across the checkered flag.
Yeah.
We'll see. Let's take a look at these heat results. If I can hit the buttons for them. We'll see Luke Patrick come home with the win, 4/10 ahead of Scott Fleming. Michael Lively is going to come home in third, just ahead of Jaden Ledbetter. Gian Cardoso, Vincent LaRue, Benjamin O'Shea, and John May are the 8 LMP3 Pro drivers. LMP3 AM, Phil, I think are pretty solid as well.
Yeah, Cameron Robertson commanding lead right there. Probably the fastest LMP3 on track right now. Again, Cameron's really going to have to unlock some consistency because that feature race is going to be 70 minutes, and he can't really tally up the off-track total that he had in the heat race and get away with it. But Ryan Blyce, newcomer, coming in second in LMP3 AM. That's a good result for him. Jake Fulton had a bit of drama, but manages to come across line in third with Emery Anderson in fourth place. And yeah, that's LMP3 AM.
Yeah, LMP3 AM, pretty calm, cool, and collected. GT3, another, I would say calm, cool, and collected. But Bruno Clemente having a bit of a lockup at the end to keep himself out of the rear end of a GT4. We'll see himself in first, just only 2 seconds ahead, though, instead of the larger gap he had to Kyle Potter and Tommy Kogan, who were duking it out till the final corner for those positions. Christopher Blue, Sean Sullivan, and Drew Friedman, the 6 GT3 drivers. Phil, GT4 Pro, I think that was a pretty spicy one that we saw. I'm excited to see how that develops over the course of an hour instead of just 20 minutes.
Yeah. Jake Hewitt showing up late in the race to take the lead. It was a really tight 4-way battle in GT4 Pro between Jake Hewitt, Matt Pyle, Corey Lobner, Tanner Schiffner. Matt Pyle also had a really strong opener, manages to hang on to the second place spot throughout the entire race. Corey Lobner just going a little too deep into some of the slow braking zones and getting caught out. And Tanner Schiffner holding on to a fourth place spot. That's a good result. Ryan Buchanan's in fifth, Andrew Mathias in sixth, and Sophie Bozeman in seventh.
Last but certainly not least, GT4 AM is going to see Paul York come home 14 seconds ahead of John Newman, who is in second. Ryan Nolan third. Eduardo Zamora and Jeff Hedges are going to finish a few laps down, respectively. And then Alex Leonard going to round out the 6-car grid of GT4 AM.
Yeah, it's a good race. Good.
Yeah.
The heat is getting us set up for this 70-minute feature race. Just a reminder for everybody, we've got 50% fuel tanks across the board for season 3 here. So not only with track limits being a factor, but that pit strategy is also going to be a bit of a big deal. 19 degrees on track with 54% humidity and clear skies. I don't think the drivers are going to have much to complain about in terms of like track conditions and grip levels. But I do think they're probably going to complain about COTA because, well, it's COTA.
It's such a unique track. I definitely think people tend to either love or hate it with no real in between. I get the feeling, it's never, at least from my experience, it's never quite that bad. But let's take a look at our rundown of the drivers after that sprint race. We'll see Luke Patrick on pole, Scott Fleming dethroned from where he set the fastest lap, trying to get around Luke Patrick. Michael Lively and Cameron Robertson find themselves for Michael Lively, finds himself improving to the second row of the grid. Cameron Robertson kind of finds himself where he started in the sprint race in fourth overall. Jaden Ledbetter and Gian Cardoso in row number 3. Vincent LaRue, Benjamin O'Shea in row number 4. And then we have, Ryan Blyce, Jake Fulton, Emery Anderson, and John May are the LMP3 grid. The GT3 grid, I think, is pretty similar to how we saw it, Phil.
Yeah, pretty similar. Bruno Clemente, Kyle Potter are going to be on your front row with Tommy Kogan, Christopher Blue. Second row of the grid, Sean Sullivan and Drew Friedman. We're going to see if Drew Friedman, it looks like he's on the grid for the start of the feature race. So definitely going to be a little bit closer to the rest of the field.
Yeah, he is with his group this time. I wonder if he had like a issue with technology or something of that nature as we watch the GT3s start to roll away. And GT4s, I think, are going to be pretty similar to how they were a little while ago as well, but a different, a couple different drivers there. Jake Hewitt, Matt Pyle find themselves on the front row of the grid. Corey Laubner, Tanner Schiffner find themselves on the second row. Corey Laubner, Jake Hewitt pretty much are the drivers that flipped places in that. Matt Pyle staying in second, Tanner Schiffner staying in fourth. Ryan Buchanan, Andrew Matthias, and Sophie Bozeman, the 7 GT4 Pro drivers. Phil, the GT4 AM drivers.
Yeah, Paul York's going to line up alongside Sophie Bozeman for the fourth row of the grid of GT4. But John Newman, Ryan Nolan going to line up alongside one another. John Newman, second place result. Ryan Nolan's going to be out for blood because that incident in the heat race. He's going to be looking to try and maximize some points on John Newman. We're going to see what happens. Eduardo Zamora, it was Eduardo Zamora and John Newman that got tangled. So Eduardo's going to be the one on the hunt. And then Jeff Hedges is going to be on the 12th spot with Alex Leonard again. I don't see him on the grid. Actually, I don't see Jeff Hedges on the grid either.
Yeah, I don't see either.
Don't know if they're a drop for this race or if they're just going to start from the pits. We do have a green flag, though, for the MP3s, and they are blasting up to turn one right now.
They are indeed. Great launch out of Luke Patrick, and Michael Lively going to take the inside line there. Scott Fleming going to run it too wide. Cameron Robertson duking it out with Jaden Ledbetter for the start there. It's going to see those two interact, but they get it sorted pretty quickly. Vincent LaRue getting around Gian Cardoso there at the start. Benjamin O'Shea looking to capitalize on it as well as we see the GT3s start their run down to turn number one.
Yeah, so again, very similar to the start of the race.
Ooh, Christopher Blue with a great launch.
Heat race. Yeah, Christopher Blue did get a good launch. And he does find his way around Tommy Kogan. Everybody's kind of just going single file now as they get ready to go into the Silverstone section.
Absolutely. I'm going to get through the GT4 Pro and AM. Tanner Schiffner also getting a great run there. Corey Laubner finding his way further down. Ryan Buchanan, Andrew Matthias also keeping it in there. Paul York getting in front of Sophie Bozeman, so officially diving into the GT4 Pro ranks. Our GT4M pole sitter, Eduardo Zamora. The rest of the GT4 field, for those that are out on track, all doing their best. Scott Fleming getting back around Michael Lively at the front of the grid.
Yeah, John Newman caught napping at the start there. Down 2 spots currently in the back of the field. So he's going to have to try to do some work to catch up to Ryan Nolan and see if he can start to climb the ladder in GT4 AM.
Yeah, I imagine John Newman trying to get I get Eduardo Zamora pretty happy with how he started that race, getting to both positions to jump up to second in GT4 AM. Kind of following along this battle for essentially what is first, but slowly kind of drifting off into being second as Luke Patrick dives away from the rest of the field, 8/10 ahead of Scott Fleming. Looking at who's available.
Looks like we just had a lead change in GT4. Matt Pyle taking the lead for the first time this weekend.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at that pass. It looks like it was a drag race down to turn number 12. Matt Pyle taking the inside line and getting the move done pretty efficiently there.
Yeah, I wonder if Jake Hewitt was just nursing the tires because we're still early on in the start of the feature race, and these guys are going to have to protect the tires because tire degradation is going to be a big deal when you're dealing with these pit stops.
Absolutely. Looking at this, oh my gosh, these two, Jake Hewitt making the lunge down into turn 20, late on the brakes. Matt Pyle going to go for the over-under coming out of the final corner.
Okay, so he's set up for the inside into turn 1, and it does look like the AMG has a little bit more grunt in a straight line on the M4. They are basically neck and neck.
Oh, Jake trying to go around the outside, unable to do so. Tanner Schiffner going to try to see if he can't capitalize on that. But Jake pulls it in line.
Yeah, Matt Pyle dove to the inside very early. Wanted to establish himself at the lead at the apex. And Jake Hewitt was just going to have to try and see if he could hang around the outside, but it's very difficult to do.
Speaking of cars going around the outside, Jaden Ledbetter, Michael Lively duking it out for third. Michael Lively, I
I'm
think.
seeing, I'm seeing some smoke coming out of
Yeah.
the back end of both of them. They are really maximizing the limit of rear grip that these LMP3s can handle.
Yeah. Matt Pyle labeled as off track amongst all this. But these 5, 6 drivers now pretty much within a few seconds of each other. A little bit further back, Benjamin O'Shea and Gian Cardoso. I say a little further back, I mean like right behind the battle we were just looking at. Scott Fleming getting the fastest lap of the race in amongst all this as he continues to try to hunt down Luke Patrick for the lead of LMP3 and LMP3 Pro. And I'm hopping back on to this battle. Jake Hewitt trying to get around Matt Pyle. Both Matt Pyle and Tanner Schiff. No, excuse me. All the way around. Jake Hewitt and Corey Lobner both have slowdown penalties to serve. Oh, Ryan Blyce is going to find himself hanging out around the outside there after a quick incident. Let's take a quick ride on board with what happened there. Too much curbing early on. I think we'll see him lose. Yeah, just that bump. Those sausage curbs take those cars all over the place. Jake Fulton, great reaction there to keep that car out of the side of Ryan Blyce. Cameron Robertson as well, going off track. Going to end up at the tail end of the grid after setting his personal best. Oh, and these 3 are fighting it out. All right, Phil.
Taking a look right now. Another battle that I'm watching right now. Tommy Cogan is all over the rear end of Christopher Blue. So the GT3s. This is the closest battle we got going on right now because Kyle Potter and Bruno Clemente are kind of streaking off into the distance.
Yeah, I think Christopher Blue might be holding up Tommy Cogan. Tommy Cogan was in the fight with Kyle Potter in the sprint race. Or in the heat race, whichever you want to prefer. So I'm curious if they are looking to get back into that fight and Tommy is just trying to find a way around Christopher Blue at this point.
Yeah.
LMP3's starting to cool down a little bit. Jake Fulton still trying to keep ahead of John May, both of them.
You might want to tune into Corey Lobner. Corey Lobner looks like he's about to get a little bit rowdy.
Yeah, it looks like it. Tanner Schiffner looking to block him off. Keep that Mustang in the rearview mirror and not in the front.
It's a really tight field.
Oh,
for
yeah.
GT4 Pro.
They haven't gone anywhere. And this whole battling between all of them has left Andrew Matthias within, can reach back and start to try to bring the fight to Ryan Buchanan. And then at the back of this, not far behind, is Paul York.
Definitely seems like any kind of mistake or anything from this pocket of cars. And we could see someone like an Andrew Matthias jump clear up into second.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, you can see all these cars ahead of him. If I go up to Matt Pyle, you can see the whole train. It's a little ways off, though.
Oh, yeah. Matt Pyle is just milking this right now. He's going to try and extend that lead as much as he can, especially as we start to get further into the race right now. We are only 7 minutes, 30 seconds in. We still got somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 to 18 minutes before we hit our first round of scheduled stops.
Yeah. We have plenty of time here before the scheduled stops for these guys to start duking it out and figure out where they want to be come the pit window and pit strategy time. And as we kind of look at all these drivers, I'm going to take a quick dive back into... Well, I was going to look... Where do I want to look? I'll look at this battle. These two, I think, are also going to be going at it for a little while longer. Tommy Cogan, Christopher Blue. Tommy Cogan late on the brakes, trying to make the look. Ends up tucking back in to go around him for turn... Oh, where are we at? Let me pull up the track map, and then I can tell you. Excuse me, turn number 12.
Looks like we're getting good. Yeah, we're going through 13, 14, 15 right now.
Yep. Michael Lively, I think, is under fire from Vincent LaRue amongst all this as well. Take a look here. Yeah, Vince LaRue right behind him. Oh, Christopher Blue and Tommy Kogan going to drag race down the start-finish stretch. Just want to take a look from this blimp cam. You can see how close these two are.
Tommy's got the inside. He gets there early, but looks like Christopher Blue just rolls a little bit more speed through the corner.
Which is just enough. But Tommy Kogan's going to fight it. Going to force the issue.
Into the Silverstone section.
Yeah.
So Tommy Kogan going to take the lead going into Maggots and Beckett's.
Yeah, he's going to manage to keep that car going the right direction. I was thinking that might be a little bit interesting. Oh, Vincent LaRue, Michael Lively listed as crashed here as well. As we were watching all that, I'm curious if there was not a slide or something or an issue there.
Pretty far back.
Yeah. Oh, no, he slid.
Loses it.
But Vincent pushes him back the right direction. All right. No harm, no foul.
They get going again, and as long as he doesn't have like a broken front left suspension, I think Michael Lively can limp this car around to get to the scheduled pit stops.
I think so. I don't think it's a big issue on either front from the looks of it. We'll have to see. Now,
might want to take a peek. It does look like Tanner Schiffner found his way around Jake Hewitt, and Corey Lobner is just right there waiting to see if he can capitalize. Ryan Buchanan in the background, too. So Ryan Buchanan's looking to see if he can just capitalize on whatever sorts of shenanigans end up coming his way. Absolutely.
I think all of these, there's still only, if I go with the, even if I jump up to Matt Pyle up here, who's only up 1.4 seconds ahead of the rest of the field, the top 6 GT4 Pro drivers all separated by less than 4 seconds. You can see all of them right here. Actually, all 7 of them that are in GT4 Pro in that one corner. They were all there. Tight battle for these positions.
Meanwhile, you got so let's jump down to just we're gonna do a quick check-in. Keep it here, but just giving the folks at home a quick check-in in GT4 AM right now. Eduardo Zamora in second for GT4 AM currently.
Lobner,
3.2 seconds back from Sophie.
Gosh, parks it.
Bozeman, yeah, yep.
Okay.
But Eduardo Zamora is holding a pretty decent gap right now on John Newman. John Newman did find his way around Ryan Nolan, and that's going to be your GT4 AM field right now. But, yeah, we do still have some good close racing
Andrew
here.
Matthias going to take it too wide with Ryan Buchanan just behind these two drivers. He's going to look to try to improve his position, but that's going to be almost a bump there from Ryan Buchanan. And these two are going to give themselves no room. Paul York trying to find his way around. He's like, well, you guys are slowing me down too much. You guys are running too wide through this section. What's happening? Paul York going to lunge at the inside.
From way down.
Oh, my gosh. It's going to push Andrew Matthias way out. And he's going to look to capitalize on this. Andrew Matthias actually having to slow down because of that result.
By the way, 3 points difference between Andrew Matthias and Paul York in the overall totals.
Wow. Guys.
We got bumping going down into turn 1. Wow.
Oh, and this has brought Sophie Bozeman back into the fight as well, as these 3 drivers are just door banging and scrapping it out. No holds barred. This is just a bar fight at this point.
Yep, and Matt Pyle in the Mustang did have the inside line, but Paul York rolled a little bit more speed in the corner.
And Luke Patrick.
Luke Patrick.
LMP3 traffic gonna add into this mix. Let's hop over to the blimp cam because I'm super curious how. Oh my gosh, Scott and Jaden Ledbetter both trying to get around this entire train of cars. This battling between all of them has opened up the gap between these 4 drivers and Corey Lobner, Jake Hewitt, and all of them in front of them by 4 seconds.
Yeah, it definitely
there they are up there.
The gap significantly. But man, let me tell you, that was wild stuff.
I don't think it's calmed down at all.
Yep.
I think
Matthias is all over the back end of the pile driving Mustang.
And meanwhile, I think just behind these guys, we'll look a little bit further back, these 3 drivers are all duking it out for LMP3AM. You have Cameron Robertson just up the road. You have, Benjamin O'Shea, the tail one of this is a GT LMP3 Pro driver. But he had a spin earlier. These three drivers, however, going to be battling it out. Ryan Blythe looking to make the lunge up the inside. Or what happened with Emery Anderson lifting out of it? Oh, these two are going to go too wide through it. Okay.
I think Emery Anderson just thinking, this is not my race.
Mm-hmm.
14 minutes in, so we got 6 minutes before the 20-minute mark, so probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 16 to maybe, I don't know. Well, not really 16. Probably closer to like 10 to 15 minutes, I think, before we're going to start seeing our scheduled pit stops. Oh, my goodness.
In case you didn't think you got any... they sorted their stuff out at all. The answer is no. And they just have different LMP3 drivers trying to get around them in the process. Ryan Buchanan looking to make the inside lunge work. Andrew Mathias pieing him off. Ryan Buchanan forcing the issue. Has to back out eventually. Oh my gosh. Paul York.
That's Andrew Mathias trying to get around Paul York. Benjamin O'Shea has crashed.
Oh no. Benjamin O'Shea, what happened to you? He's still going, so it wasn't too serious.
Yeah, he's still going. Might have just been a spin for all we know.
I think so. We'll take a look at it here in a second. I want to follow along. Michael Lively catching up with Vincent LaRue, who's kind of been on an island for the last little bit. And the battle for the lead still now in the picture as it seems. Less than a second and a half, I think, in between all three of these drivers. Yeah. Just about a second and a half. All right, let's see what happened with Benjamin O'Shea real quick here. Going into turn number 1. I wonder if he locked it up trying to get on the brakes too late or too hard. This corner is deceptive, especially if you brake not enough too early. It looks like he didn't brake enough early enough and just has a nice little spin.
Manages to keep it out of the wall, manages to keep it out of a car, so lives to fight another day.
Certainly. No.
Eduardo Zamora has passed Sophie Bozeman for P26 overall, so
I'm gonna watch.
Mathias is off track, so we've still got just like some serious shenanigans going on here.
Well,
although that field is spread out a little bit.
Yeah, it hasn't spread out this battle between Michael Lively and Vincent LaRue. These two are going at it hard. Vincent LaRue going off track. Going to see him rejoin right behind him. Behind Michael Lively, I should say.
If the penultimate corner is a very tricky place.
Jaden Ledbetter.
Oh,
go for it. Yeah, go for it. Fastest lap, 201, 0.22. Sees him within half a second of Scott Fleming for the second spot on the podium.
Solid battles all around. And the thing that I'll say about this, I don't know what your thoughts are, but this kind of like close fighting and stuff like that, we're used to seeing stuff like
Michael
that
Lively.
Michael Lively did lose the back end.
Yeah. Let's take a look at that.
Curious, did it just like step out on him?
I wonder if he hit a sausage curb. It kind of looked like he might have. Oh, yep.
Oh yeah,
there it is.
Yep. And then he's like, do a kick flip. Bruno Clemente has crashed. Oh, that could be big for GT3. What happened? Oh,
that's
here?
At the same rough time. Let's see what happened here. Like at the end of Michael Lively, Bruno Clemente coming into turn number 19. Over rotation. Yeah. Doesn't break enough. Comes back on.
Manages to get the car rolling again. Did he stay out in front?
No, he lost it to Kyle Potter, who is now just ahead of it.
So Kyle Potter sneaking into the top spot in GT3. That was, I don't know if something just happened or what, but we need to go take a look at Michael Lively and maybe Gian Cardoso, because I think something must have happened, because the entry speed between those two cars, what in the world was that? Oh my goodness, there are crashes happening all over the place. Look at this entry speed. Look at the comparison between Lively and Gian Cardoso going in the braking zone. What happened? I don't know what I just witnessed. Did he get like a stuck accelerator?
I want to say it's that, or he got a brake failure. And I think he took his hands off the wheel at this point. What?
That is unfortunate, man.
Yeah, that's wild.
And then so then we got Eduardo Zamora ended up getting stuck in this. What happened to Sophie Boozman and Eduardo Zamora?
Let's take a look at that. This is the spin with Benjamin O'Shea and Emery Anderson. Oh, and that's its own incident.
Yep, separate incident. They're both good though.
Oh, for the moment.
Eduardo Zamora jumps to the pits.
Yep.
Sophie Boozman keeps it on track and then gets back on
okay.
track there.
Yep. Let's take a look at Gian Cardoso.
So Gian Cardoso is going to have some damage because he spun, and I do believe
he
hit the wall. And the car does look a little wobbly.
Oh, yeah. That looks a lot wobbly. So there's the first of those two. Here's the second of these two. And I think he just is trying to nurse that car back to pit lane. I think he already has the meatball at this point. Lets these drivers go. Tries to stay out of the way.
Craziness. Absolute craziness.
And amongst all this chaos, Kyle Potter now has crashed. What happened for Kyle Potter? Stutter. Okay. Oh, too much acceleration. Gotta find him in the... Whoa. Keeps it out of the barrier.
Just the rotation, man. And then it's over.
Yeah. And he finds him back at the tail end of GT3's category, but still within fighting distance, especially if he plays the cards right in terms of the battles for the podium. Hey, did you think that battle between Paul York, Andrew Matthias, and Ryan Buchanan had gone anywhere?
No.
Okay, cool. Well, the answer,
you
thought, they're still duking it out.
I was like,
wow, we came back at the right moment or the wrong moment.
I just hear the word. It's just like I hear the names, and then I think to myself, is that GT4? Oh, never mind. Yeah, they're still battling.
They might not be now, though, as Paul York has been spun out of his kind of spot, splitting the difference between Andrew Matthias and Ryan Buchanan, those two on a big fight. Tommy Cogan trying to find his way back around now that he's free of Christopher Blue. Not fully, though. Christopher Blue only right behind him. And then Tanner Schiffner, Matt Pyle, Corey Lobner trying to get around or allow Emery Anderson. Hardware failure is what Chris Turner is labeling there for Michael Lively, I believe.
Yeah, not sure.
Yeah.
Tanner Schiffner chasing down Matt Pyle and Corey Lobner back in it.
Yep. Back in this fight, all of them within about a second and a half of each other. Keep a look at battles have started to simmer down as just that litany of incidents has spread this field out just a little bit. Gian Cardoso trying to get back through the field now after his meatball has been repaired. GT4 is putting on a good show. They certainly are. This battle for the lead still going strong. Let's see if I can ride along board. Look over the back wing of Matt Pyle and his Mercedes GT4. Watch them all jump over the sausage curbs.
Yep. Gonna give a shout out real quick to Cataton75. Thanks for the follow.
Yes, thank you. And we're about, I'd say, between 5 and 10 minutes away from our pit cycle window here opening up.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. And we've seen so many spins and stuff. I got to wonder if people are riding on some tires that have a little bit of damage.
Definitely, or at least are overheated from the spins and other incidents there. I'll take a quick dive over to LMP3 Pro. Jaden Ledbetter hanging out right behind the rear wing of Scott Fleming going into the braking zone. Lifts out early to not run into that rear end. These two, I've been watching the relative close down on the timing tower off to the left of your screens here, and I've been waiting for it to kind of reach this boiling point. I kind of want to see what comes of it over the next couple of laps.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the field. I mean, the GT4 battle is where it's at. The Matt Pyle, Tanner Schiffner, Corey Lobner is the closest thing we got going on right now in terms of those three cars being sandwiched together.
And then you got these two battling out for the bottom two podium spots. And I think Gian Cardoso slowly working his way back through the field, and GT3s, technically, well, he's LMP3 getting through the GT3s.
Yeah, it's a very tight field for GT4 right now. That's the biggie.
Yeah, let's take a look back over at that. I was waiting to see if there's a pass out of Jaden Ledbetter. None yet. But there is a battle here for the lead of GT4 Pro, as well as drivers coming through for GT3, which is also starting to heat up as a result of traffic. As Bruno Clemente, Tommy Kogan find themselves within a second. You can see them just up the road, especially with Bruno Clemente having a little bit of a rough exit there. Keeps them within 0.3 of each other.
I like this angle.
It's a good one.
Aston's pretty wild sounding car, and I love the exhaust behind the front wheels.
Yeah. Feels very like almost Audi 90 GTO old school era.
Yep.
Both of them going to use as much of that Kerbin as they can. As Bruno Clemente slowly brings that gap open once again. Kyle Potter labeled as crashed a second time as he drives through the Echo Park automotive billboards. I think he spun it in turn number 1. Oh, this is Ryan Nolan. Different crash. Oh, he tries to catch it. Goes into the braking zone. Because he over-rotated as a result. Yeah, oh, such a slow rotation.
Oh, and into the wall.
Such a hard hit there. See what happened with Kyle Potter. He was trying not to hit Corey Lobner. And then over-rotated, trying to get a good exit there. All right. But he keeps it out of the harm's way. Jake Fulton, Cameron Robertson within half a second of each other as well as we get into the 30-minute mark coming up in just a couple minutes' time. While this fight is going on, Corey Lobner, Matt Pyle, I think also going through a pretty good fight.
Yeah, close fights all around. I'm just looking right now. So we do have some folks that have take the early pit stops, mainly because of incidents on track. Gian Cardoso's one pitted on lap 9. We've also got, I believe Michael Lively and Eduardo Zamora might be out of the race, as I do think Ryan Nolan's in the pits right now for that broken front end.
Yeah.
But we'll see if he can get back out on track.
Get the feeling he'd be able to. And so that's some pretty decent points overall. Keep an eye on these two drivers. Our closest battle on track right now, the 0.3 that separate Cameron Robinson and Jake Fulton. Let's see if I can hop over here. Matthew Pyle, I think our first driver to actually come in for a scheduled pit stop as he comes in pit lane. Ooh.
Yeah, Matt Pyle going into the pits. So is Jake Hewitt. And here comes Andrew Mathias. So Tanner Schiffner, he's going to go out in front. So is Corey Lobner, Ryan Duquesne, they're going to extend.
Luke Patrick going to be the first LMP3 driver to come in for an on-schedule pit stop as well. Cameron Robertson also going to be the other one to do that. The rest of the LMP3 field going to sort themselves out. Scott Fleming ending up behind Jaden Ledbetter. Let's see. On-track action, I think, now is this battle here for GT3 P1 or GT3 P1. Put it that way.
Yep. Yeah, Tommy Kogan staying pretty close to Bruno Clemente. Bruno Clemente has had at least one spin, so I'm wondering if the rear tires are in any way temperamental for Bruno right now. Taking a look right now at pit stop times. Luke Patrick, who dove into pits, we're talking a 47.45 for total pit lane travel time, 21.05 seconds on the jacks. Cameron Robertson's 23.40 on the jacks. Ryan Blyce is 24.78 on the jacks. So, GT4 times, it looks like Bruno's going in the pit, so Tommy's going to extend. I think, is Tommy going to try and do another giga fuel save? Sean Sullivan is parking it.
I'm trying to figure out what happened to Sean Sullivan. It just happened.
Yeah. Wonder if the car is broken or
it had a meatball flag. Oh, he gets clipped.
Christopher Blue.
And finds himself in the barrier. Oh.
Unfortunate.
And that caused a meatball.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Big unfortunate moment.
Andrew Matthias labeled as crashed amongst all that as well. On his outlap from the pit cycle.
So he's on cold tires.
Yeah.
Or cooler tires. Not really sure in terms of time. I think he just goes deep.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, he does go deep.
He just goes deep. Yeah.
Corey Lobner also labeled as having a meatball.
Oh, no.
I'm super curious what happened there, because... See, we're still on the replay. Let's see what happened here. Oh, just... Oh,
he goes in too hot into the pits.
Keeps out of the way of all of the LMP3 drivers.
His engine is going to blow. So if he can get that car to the pits, we do offer 2 fast repairs. So if he takes the fast repair and he doesn't do tires, just takes fuel, he should be good to go. But he did go up on the jack, so I think he's going to be sitting there for the long haul.
Gian Cardoso also has a black flag for incident limit.
Yep.
Not surprised, given the 4X he probably got as a result of that incident with Michael Lively and the hardware failure. I would tend to believe that that's what happened there, based on my understanding. Ryan Blyce going to get ahead of Jake Fulton coming out of the pit lane. John May going to be hounded by Cameron Robertson at the end of this. Sophie Bozeman labeled as crash this time by, but I think she just had a spin there. John,
taking a look at more of the pit data, and it does look like we've got some folks in GT4 AM that have taken tires potentially. Paul York a 36.9 on the jacks, and John Newman a 37.8 on the jacks. So I'm thinking maybe that's what we're looking at in terms of times if people are taking tires.
Yeah, I get the feeling that that is the pit time there, especially if you're GT4, you probably could get either a set, half a set done in the time it takes to fill up the fuel, 50%. It's what I've experienced, I think, in a couple of leagues there that have that option. And then you take, one set now, and then you kind of leave the other set as you need. Tommy Kogan going to beat Bruno Clemente, I think, coming out of pit lane. But the question is it going to be enough to stay ahead of him going into turn number 1? The answer is yes.
So Bruno Clemente going to come out behind Tommy Kogan. 1.2 seconds. Taking a look at pit stop times. Pit stop times were not really that far off, with the exception of maybe pit entry, pit exit, because we're talking, what is that, a 49.3 to a 48.53. So I don't know if there's really enough there for that.
Interesting to me. I have to figure out where this factors in. Emery Anderson, I don't think has come into pit yet.
Nope.
Oh, Jake Hewitt making the look on Ryan Buchanan going into the penultimate turn. And they're going to bump as Jake Hewitt drifts out. And Ryan Buchanan is going to try to squeeze. Get as much space as he can. They keep it together. Ryan's looking for the over-under. Jake Hewitt's going to get away with a decent run out of the final, or out of the hairpin. Coming through. Going to be, I think, Ryan Blyce there.
Yep. LMP3's got to find a way. Oh, that's a touch of the curb, and that's going to unsettle the car and give Ryan Buchanan a good opportunity here.
Yep. That gap going to close back down just a little bit.
Jake Fulton in the background. Got to figure out how to hold the outside line, as these guys are probably just going to try and hold their lines normally.
Yeah, Jake Fulton unfortunately has to make Ryan Buchanan go the long way around turn number 9 and 10 into the hairpin at 11. And Jake Fulton will get the good exit here because of the engine and the machinery of the LMP3.
Bruno Clemente in the box.
Wonder what
Not sure what happened
there. Kyle Potter labeled as crashed as well. Interesting. I wonder if
just another slide. Oh no,
no.
he's crab walking.
Yeah, there's an incident here. See, gets that car moving. I wonder if he is wrapped up in the incident. Oh, has a slide.
Yep, and he's rolling.
That's fine. Oh, he gets hit by Luke Patrick.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He was just trying to get off the road.
Yeah.
Now he's crabbing. And Luke Patrick's going to have some front-end damage. That's going to give Jaden Ledbetter the lead of the race. And Luke Patrick is losing massive amounts of time.
Yeah. Front end looks surprisingly well put together for a car that had an impact. But I think you're right on the time that he's losing, especially with a slide like that as we come back to the live. I get the feeling
I think
that car's hurting.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Luke Patrick already has a pit stop under his belt. Not sure if there's a way to limp that car around, maybe try and get a fuel save or something to stay in it.
Given they pitted on lap 15, we're on lap 18 now. I think in theory they could top up and make it to the end. It is how my math is comprehending that.
Yeah.
So we may see.
I suppose that's possible. So if he doesn't do tires, if he just does a top up, takes the fast repair, he may still be able to push to the end in the hopes that the extra, 40, 50 seconds that he's adding, he can try and make it up with a faster car. I mean, that's a huge ask.
Yeah, I think it would be a huge ask to do it without any pressure from cars behind.
Yeah, the field's pretty spread out right now. I think the closest thing you got to watch right now is John May and Cameron Robertson.
Yeah, I think that's probably it as well. Luke Patrick staying out. Going through turn number 1 once more. Maybe he's not.
Luke Patrick last lap 209, but that's with the incident. So we're going to see kind of what we're looking at now as he goes through the high-speed sections in Sector 1. We're going to figure out if that LMP3 is put together well enough to maximize some points here.
Yeah. In the meantime, Scott Fleming, I think, is slowly getting his lap times whittled down by Vincent LaRue. I think lap traffic is helping. You take a look at that track map. There are cars everywhere at the moment. And
Scott Fleming looks like he's catching Jaden. Or no, it's Vincent LaRue that's catching Scott Fleming.
Yes. By a pretty decent margin as well. I'm going to hop back over to Cameron Robinson, fight with John May as John May. And they're going to... sorry, getting a little nervous over here.
Yep. It's all right. It's all right.
Oh, too wide into the hairpin. It's going to be a drag race out. Who has the better exit? And does John May cede the position to Cameron Robertson? Or do they duke it out all the way down to turn number 12 and will be last? Who's last on the braking marker? Cameron's slightly ahead. They both brake at about the same time. And Cameron just gets a better exit out of that.
Yeah, just rolling more speed into the corner. Just taking a look right now. Also want to comment on some other folks right now. They're sitting on high off-track counts. Christopher Blue's got 16 right now. We also got just going through the field. Jake Fulton's on 14. So we definitely have a situation here where a drive-through penalty is probably in the cards for a few people out here on track right now.
Yeah, if they don't have it already, like in the instance of Gian Cardoso. This is what iRacing SDK has stated for the number of incident limits or incidents off tracks for these drivers. It's not perfect, so...
Does also only show off tracks. It doesn't show crashes.
Yeah, no 4Xs or 2Xs for loss of control. So Scott Fleming slowly getting hunted down by Vincent LaRue. Oh, and Scott Fleming spins. And that'll see him.
Just hits him with the mind punt.
Yeah, just locks it up into the hairpin here. I want to take a look at it again. Because I really...
the car looked unsettled right in the kink.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah, just too much rotation.
Yep. Just LMP3 things.
Yep. And with that, the field is spread out. So I think it's time for a little bit of talk about strategy. The closing stages here. Got about 30 minutes left on the clock. We have at least one more pit cycle because most of these drivers came in before the 30-minute marker, which means they are still not clear as we have an hour and 10 minutes of racing, or 70 minutes. And 30 plus 30 is not 70 or even close to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be looking at maybe somebody trying to do something cheeky with the fuel save. Yeah, there's a number of things that could potentially factor in here. We also do have some folks that did take tires early in first stint. So Jake Hewitt, Ryan Buchanan, or excuse me, I believe that's just Jake Hewitt with a 36.23 in the pits. So probably one of the few people to take tires in GT4 Pro and GT4 AM. Paul York took tires, I believe, with a 36.9. Luke Patrick going in early for the pit stop. He's going to top off, probably take the fast repair.
Yes.
I'm just taking a look right now. Yeah, 10.47. So yeah, he's topped off. He's got the fast repair done, and he's back out on track. He's going to try and see if he can just make hay while the sun shines, and try and maximize his points total here at the end of the race.
Yeah, I would have imagined that's probably the best option for Luke Patrick, especially after that incident with Kyle Potter earlier on. And I think the battle's ebbing and flowing as we get into the late stages of this race here. I think, like you said, a lot of planning on fuel stops only for these drivers. We saw a lot of cars go up the jacks, Corey Lobner amongst them, like you said. I'd have to imagine... now, especially now that Luke Patrick has kind of pulled the trigger on the early pit stop, we might see some more dive in the next few minutes. I say 5 to 10 minutes.
Bruno Clemente is starting to catch up to Christopher Blue. Christopher Blue has had a bit of trouble with yeah, it is Bruno Clemente catching Christopher Blue. Christopher's had a lot of trouble out of the Corvette, so I'm kind of curious what happens when Bruno starts to apply some pressure. Jake Hewitt's also catching up to Andrew Mathias, so And by the way, I want to talk about that GT4 Pro crew right now. So if you could swap over to the Jake Hewitt, Andrew Mathias Duke out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Tanner Schiffner coming out ahead at the end of the pit cycle, especially with all the shenanigans involved. Matt Pyle in second, Corey Lobner in third, Andrew Mathias, Jake Hewitt, Ryan Buchanan. So the whole like top 6 of GT4 has just kind of like crisscrossed applesauce. Now we're in like a world where Tanner Schiffner is not fourth. He's running first. Matt Pyle's still in second, but Corey Lobner's in third. Andrew Mathias, Jake Hewitt, both really pushing there at the start. Jake Hewitt leading the majority of this race. Ryan Buchanan being in second for a good chunk of the race too.
Mm-hmm.
They've just been all over.
Yeah, I would say they've been swapping spots as much as possible. Oh, getting caught up by John Newman as well, which doesn't help. Cameron Robertson behind them. Oh, he's gonna stick the nose in on the inside. And then he's gonna stick his.
We're gonna have to be patient here, and there's
sorry.
There's John Newman getting like donged for just being around.
Yeah, John Newman trying to get out of the way, still manages to find.
John Newman still in the witness protection program here.
Oh, and Cameron Robertson is going to pit turn Bruno Clemente.
Just be patient.
Yep.
Just be patient out there, kids. So Cameron Robertson tangling into Bruno Clemente, I think is going to put a bit of a compromising position on him for John May.
Yes. And Luke Patrick, who has come out behind, who's now caught up to them after the pit cycle. So these three now all within a second of each other.
Yeah, and Luke Patrick's going to want to try and clear them so he can reduce more of that points buffer after losing those positions early on. Christopher Blue just going to try and hold the line and pray that, you don't end up in a situation where one of these LMP3s just missile you off the track.
Yeah. Oh.
Look at Luke Patrick. Wow.
Making the pick and roll into...
That is unfortunate for Christopher Blue, just holding his line.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that he could have done differently there. I want to take a look at that in slow-mo if I can. How can I hop on board with these cars?
I'd say hop on board from John May's perspective.
Yeah, there we go.
So John May, and then out of camera left.
Yep, and then just coming across like he's not there.
Well, but the thing is that like I can understand what Luke's trying to do.
Yeah,
likewise. To widen out so that he can get to the apex. But the thing is, or have the straightest line possible. The thing is, the GT3s are already dealing with LMP3s moving around them, and they have less downforce. So he's going to wash wider naturally. So I just don't think that Luke was just like factoring in for that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he just ran into Chris.
Yeah, I think there was the expectation that Chris would be closer to the racing line, and then he had more room to try to open up that corner. And then I don't know if he didn't catch the spotter call in time. I know he's been trying to make up as many positions as possible here. And it doesn't seem to be getting any easier, especially with Bruno Clemente having another crash, which I think is just a spin, but we'll take a quick look at it. Breaks in. Oh, almost hits Ryan Pleiss in the process.
And the net coat just decides that he doesn't deserve a grill on his AMG. I don't understand.
It popped back on for me. I see a grill on the AMG.
Yeah, on my camera, it's like he got close. There was enough room in between the two cars for the Holy Spirit, and then the front end of the car just flies off.
Oh my gosh!
But just iRacing things.
Well, that is given.
Bias is in the pits.
Yeah. So both the incident with Luke Patrick and Christopher Blue and Bruno Clemente, along with Ryan Blyce, has given both Bruno Clemente and Christopher Blue black flags. Christopher Blue has already come in and served his drive-through penalty, but both Bruno Clemente still has to serve his. There we go.
Yeah. So Luke Patrick does find his way around Cameron Robertson. So gonna start trying to move up more spots up the order. We got some GT4s. Paul York, thoughts and prayers, bud. Don't get killed by an LMP3.
Yeah. Scott Fleming only a second ahead of Luke Patrick after his second pit cycle. Only 8 seconds, I believe, in the box for Scott Fleming.
That is just please give fuel.
Gib fuel.
Yeah, and he's back out, and he's still in front of Luke Patrick. Luke Patrick does have his pit stop done as well, so I think both of them are good to the end of the race. We're going to see how that works out. John May really close to Cameron Robertson's, kind of harassing him in the background. They're getting ready to go into the hairpin here.
Yeah, turn 12. Cameron got by a little while ago, but John May is showing that consistency is better than overall or just raw pace if you're not consistent with it.
Andrew Mathias' second pit stop, 37.95. Don't think that's going to be good enough.
Well, he has a crash immediately after that pit stop, too, which is what I'm curious about. I'm taking a look at it now. So here's what happened. Oh, just... Oh.
Loops it. Cold tires.
Yep. That's all she wrote. Just up there. We have 2 pairs of battles between LMP3 here. Luke Patrick, Scott Fleming, as well as Cameron Robertson and John May.
Bruno Clemente is in. Hitting from second.
Man, he still ends up in second after all that?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Drew Friedman having a pretty good race right now, currently sitting in third after having what I thought was a pretty dismal showing in the heat race. But
well, he did start from
pit lane.
Yeah. So it's still pretty decent recovery despite starting from pit lane. And I would say it's one of those things where, you know, this is a story I think I can tell pretty well as a result of my most recent Le Mans win with my endurance team. Just not getting into trouble gets you so far ahead sometimes.
Yeah, you don't win the race in the pits.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you win the race.
Keep it clean. Yeah, you can do good. You can do good stuff. Luke Patrick, Scott Fleming, getting ready to go into the low speed stuff. Jay Hewitt.
Yeah, you had to say words about him. Now he's spun. Drew Friedman has.
Hey, it's not a broadcaster curse. Like I don't believe in that stuff. So.
Take a quick look back here. What happened? I think he just got a little unsettled here. Oh, yeah, just too much acceleration.
Oh, into the wall. So I'm seeing some smoke, but I believe that is just from tires and not engine. So
yeah, I think he looks like he's going. He still has to come in for his second pit stop, so I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, Luke Patrick, 8/10 back from Scott Fleming.
I wonder if traffic had a hand in that, because they were at like 3 or 4/10 just a moment ago.
John May deciding he's going to go ahead and get his pit stop done. Let's see what he does. It's taking a longer one than most. Paul York in for his last pit stop.
Yeah, only a couple seconds. Now we're going to probably see a lot of them trickle in. We are under 20 minutes to go.
12 seconds on the jacks for John May. So he's going to cycle out potentially in front of Benjamin O'Shea behind Jake Fulton.
Yeah, there's a tire if you want it. There we go.
Paul York, 11 seconds on the jacks. Drew Friedman in for his final pit stop.
Yeah, I'd probably get that car repaired as well.
Christopher Blue moves back up into third. Bruno Clemente was on the jacks for 5.8 seconds in his second pit stop.
Yeah, they assume it was a splash and dash, which means that despite his intense pace,
Yep.
he's also got a fuel margin that he's sticking to.
Yep. Luke Patrick now 3/10 back.
Yeah, just closing this gap down.
Yep. Last lap from Luke Patrick was a 2:78. Scott Fleming was a 2:01.11.
Jeez.
Tanner Schiffner is on P3s are right there.
Yep. And these guys are going to probably come to blows here. And the long stretch down to turn number 1. 10, less than a... There's the look. Luke's going to slide it up the inside.
Get to the apex.
Oh, and it's got to spin it again.
I don't know if they touched, though.
I don't think they did. I think it was just over rotation out of Scott. Let's take a look from a different camera angle here. If I got it.
So he goes wide. And then, the car's already rotating.
Yep.
Just lost the rear end. Cycles below Cameron Robertson, who has yet to stop for the second time, though. So if I'm Scott Fleming, I'm looking at the fact that it's like, okay, that happened. All right, I'm just going to dust myself off. Cameron Robertson still has to pit. These guys are still duking it out and dealing with traffic, so there's still opportunities here. Fourth place is not that far away from a podium spot.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things.
That is certainly the case. I think it's also not a bad place to be to start. Gian Cardoso getting his second black flag of the race. Gonna take a look at what happened there. Labeled as crash. I wonder if it's just a slide trying to avoid running into someone. Nope, just and
then spins.
Yeah, not even spins. Just gets that last 1x. But he slows down enough to where it labels him as a crash.
Wow. Yeah, and he goes into service pit stop.
Yep.
Or his drive-through. So.
Oh. Well.
Ledbetter's in the wall. What happened there?
I don't know.
Can we take a look at that?
Yeah, let's take a look.
From a different angle?
Ooh, I wonder if he got tried to not hit a set of cars.
Yeah, just got crossed up on corner entry.
Yep.
The steering might be a little wonky.
Yeah, just a little bit. He has yet to come in for his second pit stop as well. I think now might be a good time to do it.
Yep. And that brings Vincent LaRue now 4 seconds in.
You want to talk about 4 seconds. Another set of cars, much like the GT4 Pro, where we've seen them, they've all traded hands. And shuffled where they've ended up amongst all these cars. Yeah, that rear wing looks very unhappy on the right-hand side of that car. As he goes around the outside of Andrew Matthias. John May.
The place where you want to catch.
Oh.
Jake Fulton.
Yeah.
Letting cars go by. Not sure what that's all about.
Yeah. Let's see what happened here. Oh, he had maybe a slide?
Slide. Maybe he had to take a slowdown because that was a pretty big cut.
Yeah.
Interesting. Both Jaden Ledbetter, Vincent LaRue in.
Yep.
Jaden will have the fast repair. Vincent LaRue will be right behind him. I'm assuming both of them are just going to take a splash of fuel and then get back out on track. Sean Sullivan in for what looks like the last time. Tommy Kogan in the lead of GT3 with Bruno Clemente in second and Christopher Blue in third.
Yeah, and
what
Tommy,
a race, man.
Yeah, Tommy diving in as well. Vincent going to beat Jaden out of the pit cycle.
Yeah, beating him out of the box. So 7.8 seconds for Vincent LaRue, 12.8 for Jaden Ledbetter. Luke Patrick does cycle around Jaden.
He does.
We got some GT4, GT3 traffic. Sean Sullivan on the exit of the Maggots and Beckett's complex.
And Kyle Potter as well. And Kyle Potter has brought the fight between Luke and Jaden Ledbetter to a head. 210 separate these two drivers as they go into the braking zone of the hairpin. Oh, that's some smoke. That's going to be Sophie Bozeman, who keeps out of the way of Vincent LaRue ever so slightly, which is going to bring that fight back together. And these three are all duking it out for the lead of LMP3 Pro, and overall, less than a second separate second and a half separate these three drivers, I think is what I was trying to say the first two times. Forgot the half second and then felt the need to restart the sentence.
Off tracks, I think, are going to be a big factor here in the race. Like we could be
I think so.
One or more of these guys getting the drive-through penalty.
Oh, on the brakes.
All three of them are sitting on at least 13 off tracks.
Jeez, 13 off tracks. I think we'll take. They've got to be so careful at this closing stage here. And you can see it there. Vincent choking up pretty hard to not run on wide, much like we were talking about. And that's going to bring Luke Patrick right onto the tail end of this. Now they're getting down to about a second separating these three drivers. Kevin Robertson from 4th overall in LMP3. We haven't ridden on board for a flying lap. Oh, let's see how.
Vincent, that was so deep into turn 1, and now Luke Patrick is right there. Jaden Ledbetter just sitting in the background, waiting to see what happens here.
And they got GT4 traffic also wrapping up. Look how fast the speed difference is when you're in the cockpit of these cars.
Andrew Mathias. There's Paul York in the distance.
Yep. Vincent makes the look. Luke's probably going to follow him through.
Yep.
Jaden makes the look as well. Lay it on the brakes for Jaden. He's going to join the train of cars. Going to
force it.
Gets it done. Meanwhile, Benjamin O'Shea going to dive in.
Paul York sitting on 19 off tracks.
Oh, my gosh.
Definitely feels like they're racing desperate.
At least I definitely imagine that Luke and Vincent are. Vincent trying to hold his spot on the top of this podium of these three drivers. Luke desperately trying to get back around. And Jaden trying to see where he can make his way through the other two cars, but also doesn't want to get caught up. And if an incident happens to both of them, as they come around 17 and 18 into 19 and 20, this is one of Vincent's slowest spots last time by. Seems like he's gotten it only a smidge better this time around. And then we go on the start-finish stretch once again. Oh, big catch there from Jaden. That's going to see him extend a little bit further behind, trying to get that car back under his feet. If you look at the track map as well as all this is happening, cars are now everywhere.
Yeah, everybody's kind of scattered.
Oh, Vincent once again.
Looks like he didn't trigger an off track on that one. He did go deep. It does look like he's rolling deeper into the corner than Luke is. Luke not able to capitalize enough to make the move.
One of our closest good catch there from Luke. However, we'll see him fall a little ways behind. Jaden Ledbetter
in the background.
They're going to cut too wide.
Oh, Vincent locks up the rear, goes wide. That's going to trigger an off track for him.
Yeah, it's going to be an off track. Not enough, but it's going to force him too wide coming through.
Looks like Bruno Clemente's having to come in.
Oh, Jane's gonna make it 3 wide going into the braking zone. Oh, but he's gonna go sliding off. And that's gonna
way off.
See him.
He's got to rejoin behind Vincent.
Yep.
And Luke Patrick, who, what, 20 minutes ago T-boned Chris Blue?
Kyle Potter, yeah.
Or Kyle Potter, and now is back in the lead at LMP3.
Mm-hmm.
This race has been wild. It's
had absolutely
everything. And we got GT4s in front. Oh dear.
Oh boy. And this fight is one I was looking at on the relatives. You can see it down at the bottom of the screen here. Ryan Buchanan, Jake Hewitt, less than a second separating those drivers. Oh, hop on board once again. I kind of want to take a look here as they all go cycling through. Yeah, Vincent LaRue making a much more graceful run through that turn. I wonder if he struggles with his markers when he doesn't have a car in front of him.
I don't know.
This time he had no issue finding where he was supposed to be and putting that car where it needed to be to catch up and keep with Luke Patrick pretty well.
Yeah.
Maybe not as fast, but certainly within a reasonable frame there.
So we have less than we are at the 5-minute mark
Oh,
for the end of this race. Oh man, and here we go. We got more GT traffic in front.
GT traffic, GT3 and
Luke.
GT4 in front of Luke Patrick, Corey Lobner, as well as Drew Friedman, who finds himself back in 3rd place after the pit cycle.
Yep.
Oh man. And this is one of those things we talk about, these cars having different ways they extract their speed. Oh, Vincent's gonna dive on the inside. Pushes Drew wide. Christopher Blue also labeled as crashed amongst all this. Vincent still locking up those tires, trying to get through 15 and 16. Jaden's on the hunt. Luke kind of getting a little bit of time here. Once again, Vincent's slowest sector. Wait, hold on. I can pull up the sectors. Let's do... Oh.
Real tight battles here.
Absolutely. I don't want to peel away. Behind them, a little ways back, a battle between Ryan Blyce, I believe, and Emery Anderson. Christopher Blue back in pit lane. This is why I'm going to dive back to this crash that happened just a moment ago.
Same spot. Exit of the hairpin.
Yep.
Loses the back end.
Now, what causes him? Oh, yeah.
Just
Oh,
a touch.
Yep. Vince LaRue, while we were talking about that, gets passed by Jaden Ledbetter. This is probably coming out of, turn number 11. Late on the brakes. Vincent LaRue really pushing those tires. I think those tires are really unhappy with him. And Vincent LaRue has to go evasive as he locks up the brakes again. And then that battle coming down off of the simmer we've been seeing it at.
Yep.
Ryan
Next closest battles you're going to be looking for are going to be between Andrew Mathias and Paul York. For who has more points in GT4, period.
Yes. It's going to be the battle for most points in GT4. And then I believe a little ways further, you have Ryan Buchanan and Jake Hewitt.
Yep.
In an equally contested battle between these two drivers.
Yeah, it's pretty tight in GT4 Pro and Paul York.
Vincent LaRue got enough off tracks to have to take a drive-through. So
And that's going to bring Scott Fleming in.
Well, it's
It's
going
going
to
to bring Scott Fleming potentially into a podium spot.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because he comes across the line with a 204.0, and yeah.
Oh, Ryan Buchanan has the draft going down this long start-finish stretch. 0.3, slowly eating away, going into the braking zone. Late on the brakes for Ryan Buchanan. He's going to push it down the inside. Jake Hewitt holds onto it. Ryan Buchanan gives him plenty of space. Doesn't get the job done this time.
Very respectful.
Absolutely.
Hard racing, respectful racing.
Mm-hmm. Both of them left each other enough room.
Cameron Robertson in the background. Play it cool, dude. Play it cool.
Yep, give him the space. Jake Hewitt.
Yep, Jake Hewitt's getting his line compromised, and that brings Ryan Buchanan back into it.
Yep, right back into it. Vincent LaRue.
Our race leader may be coming across the line to finish the race here in a moment with Luke Patrick in the lead.
Ryan Buchanan far out, diving deep. Gonna end up sliding back behind Jake Hewitt again. Let's see here. Luke Patrick coming around the last set of corners. Out of 16. No, actually, out of 19 into 20. Mm-hmm. Come home, take the checkered flag.
Big result for Luke Patrick, especially after the incidents that he ran into. Going to take the win here at COTA.
Absolutely. Jaden Ledbetter going to dethrone his best lap, however, in the process, trying to make up that time that he lost while riding behind Vincent LaRue. Scott Fleming going to come home, P3. Meanwhile, Tommy Kogan pretty well in clear of Bruno Clemente by a minute.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Tommy that much because Tommy's kind of been on an island in GT3 for the back half of this race. Bruno Clemente getting involved in some shenanigans. Yeah, it was crazy.
And so he's going to come home, P1 there. I got one more battle, couple more battles to look at. Amongst all of those drivers is Ryan Buchanan and Jake Hewitt, who are going to come home, P4 and P5. Corey Lobner, Matt Pyle, all coming home in their own spaces as well. And then last, this battle between these two drivers. Andrew Matthias, Paul York, 0.2 separate these two drivers as they come around the penultimate corner. And that's got to be so much lost time there as he goes running over the curbing. Don't know how I missed the box. Oh, you missed the box in the braking zone. Heartbreak for Jaden Ledbetter.
What a race, man.
Oh, man,
We have seen all three categories shuffle themselves so much. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Bruno Clemente going to be the last driver on the same lap as the finisher for GT3 as well. Jake Fulton going to be the last driver to come home and take the checkered flag. Fantastic results from all of them as we get through. Oh, sorry, I was not the final car. John Newman still has to come across.
John Newman's going to come across in second in GT4 AM.
Wow.
Good result for John.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at
card-carrying member of Witness Protection Program right there.
I think he just got his insurance renewed for that as well. All right. It was a fun race to call. Let's take a look at these results. I don't think, if you ask me at the 30-minute mark, a snapfire question about whether or not Luke Patrick would be back on the top of the podium, I would say probably not. But I would be proven wrong as he comes home to win after a hectic 70 minutes. Jaden Ledbetter coming home 1 second behind. Had he not missed his pit box, probably would have been fighting Luke Patrick for that win. Scott Fleming, John May, and Ben O'Shea round out the top 5. Vincent LaRue ends up in 6th after a black flag. Will end his hopes at a podium this evening. Gian Cardoso ends 1 lap down. Michael Lively will pit after hardware issues for LMP3 Pro. Phil, LMP3 AM.
Yeah,
Little
for the
less
AM
credit.
category. Cameron Robertson still on top, 57 seconds ahead of Ryan Blyce, with Jake Fulton a minute down, and then Emery Anderson was a lap down. So LMP3 AM a little bit more spread out, but again, Cameron Robertson was mixing it up there at the front. I mean, he did end up 4th overall.
Yeah, still a fantastic
yeah,
result.
Cameron Robertson, fantastic result for him.
Yeah, say Cameron Robertson to GT3 Pro win, or LMP3 Pro win.
Yep.
GT3, I think the most spread out set of drivers. I think they've had, unfortunately, got some of the short ends of the incident sticks. Tommy Kogan comes home the winner after pretty much running the cleanest race of the 6 of them. I think it's the best way to put that. Bruno Clemente, Drew Friedman round out that podium. Kyle Potter, Sean Sullivan, and Christopher Blue all come home in the top 6 of only 6. And GT4 Pro, Phil?
Yeah, so in GT4 Pro, Tanner Schiffner really putting together a good win with a good points finish in GT4 Pro, with Matt Pyle finishing 2nd everywhere right now. But after a race that was this dramatic, I think second place points is like a big win. Corey Lobner managed to come across line in 3rd. Jake Hewitt, Ryan Buchanan 4th and 5th. Andrew Mathias in 6th, with Sophie Bozeman in 7th.
Oh, man. I would say another, fantastic set of racing that I'm excited to see how it heats up, especially with where we're going next week. I'll talk about that. Well, we'll talk about that. I shouldn't just say I'll talk about that. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. GT4AM. Paul York wins a minute ahead of John Newman. Ryan Nolan comes home 2 laps down after an incident puts him in the pits for repairs. Eduardo Zamora, Jeff Hedges, and Alex Leonard all don't take to the finish. And I think Jeff Hedges and Alex Leonard don't take to the start. Heck yeah. What a race. What'd you think?
That was wild. All of it was wild. All of it was wild. Like, it was so much was just so much was going on. It was really pretty tough. I think yeah, it was more brutal than I expected it to be. I thought that the wide nature of the track would have lended itself well to like less on-track incidents, but we actually had more, I think, than Sonoma, if I'm going to take a stab. But Jaden can tell me that I'm wrong later. It's fine. I'm wrong quite often. But yeah, it just seemed like, in particular, like going into the medium and high-speed stuff, the LMP3s just really struggle with the GT traffic.
Yeah, I would imagine just because of the placement of where you have to place the LMP3 naturally tends to also fall on the where the racing line is for the GT cars, who have so much less room to run an optimal line and not lose what little time they can. I'd have to imagine it's pretty rough for LMP3 drivers, because it's not quite the difference in speed that you have if you're an LMP2 or a proto, like a hypercar / GTP, versus the GT3 drivers, especially.
Yeah.
But
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But next week we get a little bit of a wider track to go to, which I think will be far better as a result in some ways. You were hinting at it throughout the entirety of this race with your Maggots and Beckett's line.
Yeah, we are going to be going places. We're gonna be going across the pond, like track limits going to Silverstone, I think, for the first time.
Yeah.
Doing the big feature on November. Actually, it's gonna be November 29th. So we've got quite a break for everyone to kind of recharge their batteries, and then after that Thanksgiving meal, you can jump on board and watch us November 29th for 100 minutes at Silverstone.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a fantastic race. I think we'll see some of the same issues we saw here at COTA that we talked about in this with the racing line and LMP3s trying to get around the GT traffic, especially Maggots and Beckett's. I think will be the big issue there, much like we saw in that opening sector of COTA here tonight. I think the difference is there's a lot of big, long straights in between those spots, unlike COTA here, where it's just all corners and then 2 straights and then a bunch more corners.
Yeah. It's gonna be a tough race, but I'm looking forward to it. First time TLR has been at Silverstone that I can remember, so I think it's gonna be a pretty baller experience. So I hope to see everybody there. Real quick though, I did want to give people a reminder that if you're interested at all in being a part of the action, you definitely want to check us out on Discord. Let me go ahead and post that link in chat. But yeah, come join us. Track Limits Racing Discord. That's where you'll find out all the information about the season. Yeah, follow along, check in with the drivers, hear what they're talking about, be a part of the action, whatever floats your boat. But yeah, there's the link below.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's going to wrap up for us, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Should we go raid somebody?
I think we should. I think it's that time of the evening where we go raid somebody and we see everybody off. Well, guys, it'll be a few weeks before we get back out here on the Track Limits Racing. But when we do, we're going to Silverstone. We talked about it a bunch, but we'll say it one more time for those of you who are new. What else we got? I'm Fettuccini alongside me in the booth this week, and we'll be back with me on the 29th. All things going the right way will be Mr. Phil Willie. Jesus, English today. So,
it's okay, man. It was a long race. There was a lot going on. My brain feels a little bit like mashed potatoes.
Just a little bit.
But yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. It'll be a fun race. But in the meantime, we do have somebody who's wrapping up. Well, at the tail end of a 24-hour enduro. The 24 hours of Monza Survive T1 Part 2 British GT. And we've got Sim Racer Dan. So be sure and say hello from Track Limits Racing. And we will catch you all again for round 5, Silverstone, 100 minutes. November 29th. Should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Have a good night, everybody. We will see you soon at Silverstone.
Yep. It'll be exciting. Have a good night, everybody. And is the raid going to fire or not? There it goes.